Welcome again. When you chose to become a Christian, you were most likely taught that you had been born again. And in doing so, you were gifted with the Holy Spirit, the part of God who now resides within you. The Bible teaches that the Holy Spirit can produce a life of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, which is usually pretty different than before you put your faith in Jesus. Your change depends on you allowing your heart and worldview to be transformed. And you may have experienced some or all of the above. Yet now, in the aftermath of a devastating loss, you may have questions. You are, of course, experiencing a lot of feelings, but joy, peace, and gratitude may not be the first feelings that come to your mind. Rather, feelings of abandonment, hopelessness, fear, anxiety, bewilderment, and even anger may be trending in your top 10. If the latter is true of you, you might begin to doubt the authenticity of your faith. You might berate yourself and think, I'm not a very good Christian. You may grit your teeth when you hear Christian platitudes and out-of-context Bible verses floated your way. Now, if any of the foregoing hits home with you, does that mean you are a hypocrite or a fair-weather Christian? Well, I say no, because you are in a season of suffering and you have not yet been healed enough, had time enough to sort out your conflicting thoughts, nor process your pain. And it may be a while before you are able to rest again in God's loving embrace. Please note the foregoing is not true of every Christian following a loss, so be mindful not to compare yourself to others. Does any of what I'm saying sound as though it fits you? If so, I have a few points to share that you may find helpful. First, the Christian growth and development process is typically accelerated during times of mourning, tribulation, and defeat. In contrast, we typically grow much less during times of happiness, victory, and smooth sailing. Growth in this life is typically a painful process. Why? Because while we may learn in times of prosperity, we grow in times of adversity. That's when we must rely on what we learned, but have not yet mastered through practice. Does that make sense? A Christian's first experience of a deeply felt loss, no matter how long they have put their faith in Jesus, will test them to the core, and it can and probably will be very, very tough. That is what you are experiencing. What can you do? Well, leaning into your pain of loss is one thing, not avoiding it. Another is allowing yourself more time to rest. Intentionally spending time journaling your thoughts in a prayerful manner, hanging out with people who can listen without judging or fixing, and simply asking God to show you through this wilderness. These are all ways to process your grief. Also, spending time in a group of other grieving people can be helpful. A really good option is Grief Share. That's a Christian-based grief support group. It's typically sponsored and held at churches. You can easily find their website online. That's Grief Share. You may wish to download and print out the episode notes from today, including its key points supporting scriptural references and a question to process. We will be posting more blogs like this episode in the future, so stay tuned. In the meantime, may God bless you and keep you during your season of grief. His love remains unconditional, and His faithfulness does not waver. Be well.